We're live from New Delhi. You're watching TT India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Kurana, coming up in the next hour. The date is set. First face-to-face high-voltage matchup between U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Democratic opponent Kamala Harris will happen on September 10th on ABC. US, Egypt and Qatar push efforts to jumpstart talks between Israel and Hamas, urged the two parties to resume talks on August 15th. Israel agrees to send negotiators. Hamas yet to respond. Even as Russia battles Ukrainian troops for third day in Kursk region, another region of Lipetsk comes under massive attack by Ukrainian drones. Explosions disrupted power supply, forced evacuations. Venezuela's Maduro's crackdown on social media platform continues 2 days after asking citizens to delete WhatsApp signs, decree blocking X for 10 days. And India's Neeraj Chopra clinches first silver for India in the men's javelin throw event at Paris Olympics. The elusive wait for a gold at Paris Olympics continues. Well, on to the details now. U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Democratic opponent Kamala Harris will debate on September 10th on ABC, setting up the first face-to-face matchup between the rivals in what polls show is an extremely close race. In a news conference at his Florida residence, Trump said he wanted additional debates on September 4th and September 25th that would air on Fox and NBC. The news conference was Trump's first public appearance since Harris selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as a running mate on Tuesday.
I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement subject to them, on September 10th, and we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. So we have those three dates, and those networks, they're very anxiously awaiting that date and those dates. So we have September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th.
Well, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris has also confirmed that she will attend the ABC debate on September 10th. Talking to reporters, Harris said she looks forward to debating Trump.
Well, I'm glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it, and hope he shows up.
Are you open to more debate?
I am happy to have that conversation about an additional debate for after September 10th, for sure.
Well, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is in the battleground state of Arizona today as she continues to launch a campaign for the White House with a whirlwind tour of the country. Having addressed tens of thousands of people at rallies in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin and Michigan this week, the presidential candidate headed west overnight alongside her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. In a bid to steal back the limelight, former President Donald Trump held a news conference at his Florida estate, slamming his rival for the Oval Office in a lengthy freewheeling speech littered with false statements, which the Harris camp called a, quote, public meltdown. Benji has been watching on this.
A tale of two campaigns, really. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have been bringing what they see as a message of hope and optimism to the United States, pulling in huge crowds nationwide. They met with union workers on Thursday before jetting off to campaign events in Arizona and California. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who took a leaf out of the book of fear and division, calling the US a sick country and peddling the prospect of World War III.
I think that our country is right now in the most dangerous position it's ever been in from an economic standpoint, from a safety standpoint. We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that, and we're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it.
were Harris to win November's election. It was a stark split-screen moment, but one that Trump intended in his first public appearance since the Democratic Party ticket was confirmed. The Republican nominee keen to show himself facing the media, unlike Vice President Harris, who hasn't done a sat-down interview in front of the press in weeks. A set of debates proposed for next month will, Trump says, set the record straight. His comments on Thursday were otherwise rambling and at times misleading, claiming he had more people attend the attempted insurrection on January 6, 2021, when a mob stormed the US Capitol in a deadly riot to overturn the election outcome. More people there, he says, than Martin Luther King had at his famous I Have a Dream speech. He also appeared to conflate, perhaps intentionally, refugees and asylum seekers with those from insane asylums. He hit out at Jewish Democrat voters and at Harris's biracial identity. Her campaign clipped up those remarks for social media. Harris and her vice presidential pick Tim Walz, described by Trump as incompetent radical leftists, are hoping to build on her honeymoon period momentum ahead of her party's national convention later this month, but they have no such news conference planned. Benji Haya in Washington, reporting for DD India.
Well, US president debate is like the first scrutiny of the candidates by the people. This event is watched by people from most of the countries and does influence the American voters as the candidates present their views on issues of national and international importance. Let's watch this report by our colleague Akhilesh Suman on how this tradition evolved and how it shapes up the mood of the American electorate.
US President Joe Biden's decision to step down from the presidential race, even if reluctantly, is a reminder of the power of presidential debates in the US elections. In a televised debate on 27th of June this year, Biden fared miserably in front of Donald Trump. The calls for him to step aside gained momentum with each passing day thereafter, and he had to drop out, endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris to take the fight to the Trump camp. Now both Harris and Trump are raring to go at each other on debates before the elections on November 5th. The first presidential debate in the US took place on September 26, 1960, between Democratic nominee John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, the Republican nominee. It was broadcast on CBS TV. Richard Nixon did not fare well, giving a head start to Kennedy, who eventually won the election. No presidential debate took place after this debacle. Nixon won the elections in 1969 without going into any debate. However, the next presidential candidates' debates occurred during the 1976 campaign between President Gerald Ford and his Democratic challenger Jimmy Carter. Carter won the polls. Next presidential elections took place in 1980, but scheduled debate was cancelled. It was resumed again in 1984 between Republican Ronald Reagan and Democrat Walter Mondale. Reagan won the polls. Before the tradition of formal presidential debates in the US, people started inviting Senate candidates for debates in public since 1858. Former US President Abraham Lincoln was part of this debate with his contestant, Senator Stephen A. Douglas. It was a culture of series of debates in American political scenario to assess the strength of candidates aspiring for various posts. The US presidential debates were earlier sponsored by TV channels. Later, sponsorship started coming from the NGOs. This year again, it is sponsored by the CNN and ABC News. The debates provide the candidates an opportunity to articulate their agenda as well as confront their rivals. Health of candidates and arguments with logic matter the most. Millions will tune into the debate on September 10th as Trump and Harris will slug it out on various issues that have generated public interest and curiosity among the US voters. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
Well, dramatic body cam video released by Butler County for the first time showing how police first responded to the gunman who shot former President Donald Trump at a rally on July 13th. The video shows local law enforcement officers helping each other onto the roof used by Thomas Crooks, climbing a ladder and eventually reaching Crooks' body after he was shot. Crooks' bleeding body can be seen a few steps away from the officers on the roof. The gunman killed one man in the crowd and critically wounded two others. Trump was wounded in the right ear. And updates on Gaza crisis now. In the latest attempt to end the Gaza conflict, the United States, Egypt and Qatar have called on Israel and Hamas to resume negotiations over a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Leaders of the three nations in a joint statement on Thursday called on Israel and Hamas to resume urgent discussion on August 15 to close all remaining gaps and implement a deal without delay. The three countries, which have been trying to mediate a deal, said the talks could take place in either Doha or Cairo. The leaders also offered to present a final bridging proposal resolving the remaining issues. Israel has agreed to send negotiators to the proposed talks, which are penciled in for 15th August in Doha or Cairo. Hamas, however, did not immediately respond. The renewed diplomatic push will be seen as an attempt to stop regional conflict from spiraling out of control after Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated last week. Iran, blaming Israel, has vowed a response, though Israel has not commented directly on the killing. Well, the U.S. has reportedly warned Iran an attack on Israel would pose a serious risk for Iran's economy and government. A senior U.S. administration official said on Thursday that Iran would face significant consequences if it decides to attack Israel, an escalation that would also threaten any hopes of a ceasefire in the Gaza conflict. The official said Tehran has been put on notice that there is a serious risk of consequences for Iran's economy and the stability of its newly elected government if it goes down that path. And U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin held a telephonic conversation with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Thursday and discussed the U.S. steps in the Middle East to defend Israel and a Gaza ceasefire. Austin on social media platform X said the U.S. F-22 Raptors that arrived in the region on Thursday represent one of many efforts to deter aggression, defend Israel and protect U.S. forces in the region. He also stressed the importance of concluding a ceasefire deal in Gaza that releases the hostages. And big news just coming in. Russia is evacuating people from parts of its western regions of Lipetsk after a massive attack by Ukrainian drones. According to the authorities, the attack caused explosions, disrupted power supply and wounded 6 people. 4 villages were being evacuated after a state of emergency was declared in the Lipetsk municipal district, some of them situated near an Air Force base, which caught fire too. Ukrainian authorities have not reported any strikes on the Lipetsk region so far. Meanwhile, Moscow continues to fight against the Ukrainian military in Russia's southwestern Kursk region as well. The incursion started on Monday with Ukraine crossing the Russian border in a major offensive. Russia describes the attack as a large-scale provocation and vows to crush all 1,000 Ukrainian troops involved in the attack. Disha Chernyshova has more from Moscow.
Moscow says the advance of the Ukrainian military in Russia's Kursk region was not allowed. Russian Ministry of Defense confirmed that it continued to eliminate the Ukrainian armed forces using airstrikes, missile and artillery fire. The MOD said Thursday that the Ukrainian armed forces have lost over 660 people and 82 armored vehicles since the start of the incursion. Throughout the day, Russian MOD released videos demonstrating the destruction of the Ukrainian military equipment in the region. Local authorities say that at least 4 people have been killed and over 60 wounded, and 3,000 residents have been relocated from the border areas in Kursk region, and other regions of the country have offered assistance to the Kursk residents. Russian officials say Kyiv's goal was to prove it was still capable of carrying out military activities. Russian Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations accused the Western countries of justifying what he described as Kyiv's terrorist actions. A senior Russian lawmaker said Kyiv wanted to improve its negotiating positions by staging the attack, but that will not help it. The incursion started on Tuesday morning with Ukraine involving up to 1,000 servicemen, according to Russian military reports. Dasha Chernyshova reported in Moscow for DD India.
Well, the acting governor of Kursk region, Alexei Smirnov, said he had introduced a state of emergency in the border region. Russian President Vladimir Putin cast the Ukrainian attack as a major provocation, and Smirnov told Vladimir Putin via video link that evacuation of local residents is being conducted both by buses and by rail. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky has praised the Ukrainian army for its ability to surprise and achieve results without making a reference to Kursk. He added that Moscow must feel the consequences for its offensive in Ukraine.
Everyone can see that the Ukrainian army knows how to surprise and knows how to achieve results. This is demonstrated by the battlefield where our soldiers not only withstood the overwhelming force of the occupiers, but also are destroying it in the way necessary to protect Ukraine, our state and independence.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. In Bangladesh, new interim government takes charge as a Nobel winner Muhammad Yunus heads the country. American singer Taylor Swift's 3 concerts in Vienna were cancelled this week after police foiled a terrorist attack. And a glimmer of hope beams as German scientists identified a fungi that can eat plastic, which can lead to a solution of the world's major environmental problem.
This summer, the world turns its eyes to Paris, and DD India brings you every heartbeat, every victory, and every story. Introducing our special coverage of the Paris Olympics. Experience the passion, the drama, and the triumphs. With exclusive reports, expert analysis, and up-to-the-minute updates. Join us as we bring the spirit of the Olympics to your screens.
Get ready for the ultimate sporting extravaganza on DD India.
DD India presents Champions Day Paris. Only on DD India. Every day at 6:30 p.m. IST, 1 p.m. GMT.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Quran, and moving on, Nobel winner Muhammad Yunus takes charge as the head of Bangladesh's new interim government. 2 key student leaders are part of his team. All eyes will now be on how they get law and order under control in India's neighbouring country. Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, attended the swearing-in ceremony. More in this report.
Ami Muhammad Yunus
And with that, Bangladesh enters a new phase in its political journey. The interim leadership of Muhammad Yunus offers hope for a more equitable and democratic future. After weeks of violent protests, 2 key student leaders are part of the caretaker government. Earlier in the day, calling hatred and unruliness as enemies of democracy, Yunus said that Bangladesh is all set to create its new dawn of victory.
Our first order of business should be to restore law and order. Until this is taken care of, we will not be able to proceed to further improve the situation. You have shown faith in me, and the students have reassured me to carry out that duty. We have to protect this freedom, not just protect it, we have to ensure that it reaches every single household. Otherwise, the freedom will have no meaning.
India is closely monitoring the situation in the neighbouring nation as incidents on attack of minorities in Dhaka were reported. With the close contact with Bangladesh Army, India is patrolling its borders and keeping a close watch on any unauthorized entry of individuals.
Certain steps have been taken by groups and organizations, and we welcome that, but we want that the law and order situation in the country improves so that normal life can begin. We are closely monitoring the situation. We are in touch with them to ensure the safety and security of our missions, of our personnel who are manning those missions, and also for the safety and security of Indian nationals. Interest of the people of Bangladesh is foremost in our minds, in the mind of the government, and it's so important for the government of India and for the people of India.
With the swearing in of the interim dispensation, Bangladeshis are hopeful of a better future for their country.
The example that the young generation has set of giving this country a rebirth, we are expecting that Yunus will be able to take it further to reconstruct our country.
We want conflict-free Bangladesh where no Awami League, no VNP and no other political parties can abuse power. I want to forget the past and move on.
I earnestly request the new government to put an end to bad politics in the country so the poor working class can live in peace.
Dhaka and several other cities saw weeks of unrest with mass protests and violence over job quota, which snowballed into a larger anti-government revolution. It forced Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to resign and take refuge in neighbouring India. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, DD India's Naval Singh Parmar joins us for more on this. Well, Naval Singh, big challenges ahead for Mohammad Yunus as he's expected to bring back peace, revive the economy and pave way for free and fair elections in the near future. Give us an update on the whole situation in Bangladesh as the new interim government has now taken over.
Yes, well, the first challenge for the new interim government under the leadership of Dr. Mohammad Yunus is to establish law and order situation in Bangladesh because there are many incidents happen of loot, decade, and other miscreants are setting their personal agendas and adjusting their scores. And at the same time, police force is not on duty because they are under fear that they may be attacked by the protester, because the protester feels that the people feels that the police were having a different kind of role which was not suitable to them. The police are 8 to maximum number of police personnel are 8 to join the duties, and though there is an army on the street to safeguard the law and order situation, but the army is not trained for this kind of duty. For that, police and allied agencies are very much required, and that is the primary challenge to the Dr. Mohammad Yunus and his government. And second thing, the people of Bangladesh who came on street, they were not for the change of just the head of the state. They want to change the system in the Bangladesh, and they want an elected government with free and fair election. And one interesting is that I met many people in Bangladesh, and their aspiration is to have a democracy like India. Indian democracy is role model for them, and they wish that the power change here in Bangladesh also with the help of ballot, not with the bullet. And and this scenario, the second biggest challenge for the Dr. Yunus and Bangladesh army, which is backing the regimes of Dr. Yunus, is to have a free and fair election as soon as possible. And the third thing is economic factors that the Bangladesh is passing through since last 2 years after COVID and the Ukraine-Russia war. Economy is facing tremendous challenges. And one point I would like to make here, that the Taka lost its purchasing power almost 50%. So, and meanwhile, this 2 years, salary remains the same. Minimum wages are around 8 to 12,000 Taka per month, but the purchasing power of Taka reduced up to 50%. So that is the biggest challenge, and that's why the people were on the street to have a change, and they want that someone comes and they really try for solve their issues. Yes.
All right, various challenges for the interim government ahead. Thank you so much, Naval Singh, for all those details from there. And moving on, American singer Taylor Swift's 3 concerts in Vienna were cancelled this week after police said they had foiled a terrorist attack. A 19-year-old Austrian who was intent on attacking fans with a bomb or knife was arrested on Thursday. Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer said the teenager had planned to carry out a suicide attack that would have caused a bloodbath and had vowed loyalty to Islamic State. He added that the arrested man has made a full confession in the custody. 2 other Austrian youths aged 17 and 15 were detained on Wednesday over the reported plot.
The main suspect admitted that, together with 2 accomplices, he wanted to carry out a suicide attack. For that, he acquired weapons and explosives, and he carried out other preparations. It is indeed unimaginable to think what immeasurable damage would have been done had the plan succeeded.
All right, the United States have been in touch with the Austrian government over the issue of an alleged plot to strike a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna.
So I certainly wouldn't want to speak to or confirm any kind of intelligence information. We have been, and when I say we, the broader United States government has been in touch with the Austrian government. The State Department has been in touch with the Austrian government. And I think it's important to say one other thing about this, which is we do commend the very swift action that they took to disrupt what could have quite obviously been a very serious incident.
Well, moving on, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro on Thursday said he has signed a resolution to block access to social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, in the country for 10 days. Maduro has frequently railed against X owner Elon Musk since the country's July 28th presidential election. In the days after the vote, protests from Venezuelans across the country and abroad broke out, demanding Maduro step down and to honor a win by opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez. The protests were largely promoted on social media. The leftist president earlier this week had asked his supporters to also abandon messaging application WhatsApp, saying the app was being used to threaten the families of soldiers and police officers. Well, Tunisia's President Kais Saied has sacked the country's Prime Minister Ahmed Hachani. Hachani has been replaced with Kamel Madoni, who until his appointment was the country's Social Affairs Minister. DD India's Tasem Akende reports for more.
Prime Minister's sacking and replacement was announced in a presidential statement. The action is coming days after President Saied declared his intention to seek another term in office in October. The statement didn't explain the reason behind the Prime Minister's dismissal. But according to Amnesty International, the President Kais Saied-led government has in the last 3 years brought justice to its heels in the country, carrying out arrest and arbitrary prosecution of leaders of the political opposition, journalists and lawyers, among others. Amnesty International Secretary General Agnes Callamard says they've made requests for meetings with officials of the government last month, but got no response from them. It has called on the authorities to release all those who have been arrested and detained arbitrarily. The government has described the allegations of stifling critical voices against it as delusional, saying it is not true. Tassim Akende in Jos, reporting for DD India.
An earthquake with a magnitude of 7.1 hit southwestern Japan, triggering tsunami advisories. Japanese authorities issued tsunami advisories for coastal areas, urging residents to move to higher ground. Emergency services were activated and local government set up evacuation centers for those in affected areas. In view of weather situation, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has cancelled his plans to visit Central Asia for summits with regional leaders. Japan is one of the world's most earthquake-prone countries. Despite the incident, there were no immediate signs of major damage. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world today. Japan is commemorating the 79th anniversary of the deadly atomic bombing of Nagasaki during World War II. A moment of silence was observed at 11:02 a.m. Japan Standard Time, the exact time the bomb exploded on August 9, 1945. The city honored 198,785 victims in an annual ceremony, with representatives from around the world in attendance. The pop-up library initiative is set up to bring a unique reading experience to encourage book sharing and exchange in the community, aiming to foster a culture of book sharing and exchange within the community. The initiative emphasizes the value of reading as a communal activity where books become a medium for connecting people from all walks. German scientists found a glimmer of hope by identifying a fungi that can eat plastic that could lead to a solution of the world's major environmental problem of composing millions of tons of plastic waste from the world's oceans every year, as it takes decades to degrade. Scientists believe the microbial plastic destroyers could be used in sewage treatment plants or other facilities with controlled conditions. However, the fungi are unlikely to be a solution for stemming the global flood of waste. And still to come on DD India News Hour. India is showcasing country's defense prowess at the largest multilateral air exercise, Tarang Shakti. Indian Air Force helicopters continue to airlift stranded pilgrims in Kedarnath Valley at full pace. And a team of the Election Commission of India is set to review the preparedness for the forthcoming assembly polls in Jammu and Kashmir.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Pakshi Quran, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. The date is set. First face-to-face high-voltage match-up between U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Democratic opponent Kamala Harris will happen on September 10th on ABC. U.S., Egypt and Qatar push efforts to jumpstart talks between Israel and Hamas, urge the two parties to resume talks on August 15th. Israel agrees to send negotiators. Hamas yet to respond. Russia battles Ukrainian troops for third day in Kursk region. Russia terms it major provocation. IAEA says monitoring situation around Russia's nuclear plant. Venezuela's Maduro's crackdown on social media platform continues 2 days after asking citizens to delete WhatsApp, signs decree blocking X for 10 days. And India's Neeraj Chopra clinches first silver for India at the men's javelin throw event at Paris Olympics. The loser wait for a gold at Paris Olympic continues. Well, moving on, the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is on a 3-day visit to the island nation of New Zealand. During her visit, President will address the Indian diaspora in one of the largest cities of the country, in Auckland. Early on Thursday, she held bilateral talks with the Governor-General and the Prime Minister of New Zealand. The President also announced that New Zealand has joined the International Solar Alliance and that a bilateral customs cooperation agreement between New Zealand and India has been signed. Well, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar begins 3-day official visit to Maldives from today. The visit follows the recent visit of the President of the Republic of Maldives, Dr. Mohammad Muizzi, to India for the swearing-in ceremony of the new Cabinet and Council of Ministers. EAM had previously visited Maldives in January 2023. Maldives is India's key maritime neighbour and an important partner in India's neighbourhood first policy and a vision, Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region. The visit is aimed at strengthening the close partnership between the two countries and to explore avenues to enhance the bilateral relationship further. And moving on, Tarang Shakti, largest multilateral air exercise in India, witnessed multiple fighter jets in action on day 2 in Sular, southern state of Tamil Nadu. Air forces from the US, Germany, France and several other countries participating in the exercise that will showcase the country's defense prowess and provide a platform to participating forces to foster interoperability. The second phase of the exercise will be held at Rajasthan's Jodhpur from August 29 to September 14. That will see participation from Australia, Bangladesh, Greece, Singapore, the UAE and the US with their assets. And ahead of the 78th Independence Day, the Indian government has launched the 3rd edition of Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. Starting from Friday, the initiative aims to foster national unity and pride. The Har Ghar Tiranga has seen success over the last 2 years. The campaign has seen over 23 crore tricolour being hoisted in Indian homes. With an appeal to make Har Ghar Tiranga campaign a memorable mass movement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi changed his profile picture on social media X, urged a countryman to do the same and share selfies. He said, "I'm changing my profile picture and I urge you all to join me in celebrating our tricolour by doing the same. And yes, do share your selfies on Instagram https harghartiranga.com." And today is Nag Panchami, a unique festival in India that honors the spiritual and ecological importance of snakes. Let's take a look at this report to know more about the significance of these mysterious creatures and the importance of their protection.
Venture through the vast expanse of India and presume to grasp its essence. Think again. India, the muse of diverse cultures and culinary wonders, beckons with a symphony of festivals and rituals. Each celebration holds a profound significance, weaving a timeless connection to our natural realm. In the heart of India, there is a festival that celebrates the mysterious and majestic creatures that have long been revered in Indian culture. Nag Panchami is a festival dedicated to the worship of snakes, known as Nagas in Hindu mythology. It is believed that snakes are important symbols of fertility, protection, and good fortune. Snakes play a vital role in ecology, controlling pest populations and maintaining the balance of nature. Yet, they face threats like habitat loss and hunting. Snakes are indicators of ecosystem health. Their decline signals broader environmental issues.
Some people know the importance of snakes while others don't. Snakes are friends of farmers. Rats cause a lot of damage to crops, resulting in reduced yield. To prevent this, snakes help by controlling the rodent population. If snakes are present in the fields, it is their natural habitat, and killing them without a reason is not right. In such cases, one should seek help from the snake friends.
Amidst the shadows of looming threats, sanctuaries and conservationists stand as sentinels, guarding the delicate equilibrium of our biodiversity. Within the sinuous forms of serpents lies a tale of profound ecological harmony. Their presence not only shapes ecosystems but also mirrors the health of our planet. Within the delicate weave of Naga Panchami, a sacred truth resonates. Serpents are the silent guardians of our ecological symphony, deserving a reverence and protection.
And big news coming in from New Delhi ahead of the Independence Day celebrations in the national capital. The Delhi Police Special Cell has apprehended Rizwan Ali, an ISI's module terrorist. A resident of Daryaganj in Delhi, Rizwan had a ₹3 lakh bounty on his head, announced by the National Investigation Agency for his involvement in terror activities. According to the police, Ali was part of the Pune module of ISIS and had been absconding. NIA had earlier released Rizwan Ali's photograph along with other absconding wanted men with terror links. And moving on, Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur has developed a unique portable device to detect oral cancer. The device uses special lights and a camera to examine the mouth, providing instant results by analyzing mouth images and categorizing them as normal, precancerous or cancerous. The results are displayed on a smartphone app and stored on cloud servers for continuous updates, making it ideal for self-testing. IIT Kanpur transferred the non-invasive oral cancer detection device to industry to facilitate widespread adoption and commercial success. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. Honoring heroes on Independence Day, this year special invitations have been extended to ASHA and ANC workers across India to join the celebrations at Red Fort. An Election Commission of India delegation led by CEC Rajiv Kumar arrived at Srinagar on Thursday to review poll preparedness in Jammu and Kashmir. The ECI directed for the updation of the electoral rolls in the valley, witnessing the huge participation of the people of Jammu and Kashmir in the recently concluded Lok Sabha elections. The rescue operations by Indian Air Force helicopters in Kedarnath Valley continue at full pace. On Thursday, the first shuttle at sunrise where the Mi-17 helicopter airlifted stranded pilgrims and 750 kg of relief material after negotiating challenging weather conditions. Earthquake of 3.3 magnitude has jolted Himachal Pradesh, with Mandi being the center on the wee hours of Friday. The quake struck at 9:53 a.m. in the morning, with Mandi being the epicenter with a depth of 5 kilometers. After 10 days of relentless rescue efforts, the Indian Army bid an emotional farewell to the people of Kerala's Wayanad as they began withdrawing from the disaster-stricken areas on Thursday. The soldiers who braved nature's terror to save lives were met with an overwhelming outpouring of gratitude from the local community and beyond. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Apple modifies App Store policy in the European Union by revising rules to purchase outside the store. And India's hockey team bags nation's 4th bronze medal at Paris Olympics. Also, good news for all the noodle lovers in central Copenhagen.
The one common theme between all major cities across the world is hope and the promise of new opportunities and possibilities that gravitates people towards them.
The reason why we advocate green transformations is because you can retain the building and you can actually modify.
There's a lot that happens when you extract sand beyond sustainable limits. It's going to change your course of your river, it's going to widen the channel, it's going to damage, and we are paying a big price.
We have 2 water reservoirs on 84 acres of land. During periods when the river water is non-saline, we store water in these reservoirs. Throughout the year, we distribute this water to residents.
Tiny houses are in vogue. Less is more. Many also assume tiny homes are more eco-friendly.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Nepakshi Kuran, and on to some business news now. Apple announced changes to its App Store after the European Union accused the iPhone maker of breaking the bloc's landmark new digital rules. Apple said app developers will be able to communicate and promote offers for purchases available at a destination of their choice in the autumn. This means that app developers can include a link in their app that redirects the customer to a web page where the customer can conclude a contract. The EU had accused Apple in June of preventing app developers from freely steering consumers to alternative ways to pay. And Asian markets looked set to round off a turbulent week on a positive note on Friday as Japanese stocks get close to recouping all of its huge losses from the start of the week. Also helping sentiment is Chinese data showing that consumer inflation improving and Japan's Nikkei sharing average rebounded in earlier trade. While the yen slipped again as markets pared back the chance of an outsized US rate cut. In South Korea, the benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index opened up 1.38%. And US stocks jumped on Thursday with all 3 indexes closing sharply higher after jobless claims fell more than expected in the latest week. All of the S&P 500 sectors rose, led by gains in S&P 500 technology and communication services. Data showed the number of new applications last week for unemployment benefits fell more than expected. Stocks had sold off sharply after last week's July US jobs report sparked fears of a potential US recession. Traders also cited an unwinding of positions of carry trades where investors borrowed money from economies with low interest rates to fund their bets in high-yielding assets elsewhere. And time now for some sports news from all the action from Paris Olympics 2024 first. Well, Neeraj Chopra etched his name in the history books once again, becoming only the 2nd Indian male athlete to secure 2 Olympic medals. Competing in the men's javelin throw final, Neeraj delivered an impressive 89.45 meters throw to claim the silver medal. The event was marked by intense competition, particularly from Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem, who emerged as the gold medalist. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Neeraj Chopra for winning silver medal in men's javelin at the Paris Olympics 2024. PM Modi wrote on social media platform X, and I quote, "Neeraj Chopra's excellence personified. Time and again, he's shown his brilliance. India is elated that he comes back with yet another Olympic success. Congratulations to him on winning the silver. He will continue to motivate countless upcoming athletes to pursue their dreams and make our nation proud," unquote. An Indian javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra secures a silver medal at the Paris Olympics, marking a remarkable achievement by winning back-to-back medals on the world stage. DD India's Neeraj Singh offers us more insights into this historic accomplishment.
Neeraj Chopra won silver medal. We can say that it is also a great achievement, winning 2 medals in the Olympic. In the Tokyo, he won gold medal, now he has silver. Stupendous achievement by Neeraj Chopra. We know that throw of 89.45 meter, which helped him to earn the silver medal here. We can say that it was Arshad Nadeem's day. He threw 92.97 meters, and that's why Neeraj won silver. And the kind of performance Neeraj in the qualification did, he topped there, but here he won silver. But winning the back-to-back medals in the 2 Olympics, it's a big achievement, and definitely it helped India to move ahead in the points table too. All in all, it was a very tough fight between, we can say that apart from Nadeem, from other javelin thrower, Neeraj was at the 2nd place. But it was also, we can say that after Nadeem threw the above 90 meters throw, it was already decided that he will win a gold medal, because we know that 90 meters is a standard in the javelin throw, and he won. He threw 93.97 meter, which is also Olympic record. So it was Nadeem's day, but all in all, we can say that the kind of competition was there in the javelin field. It was immense, and it was from the Grenada. Anderson was there, and Weber from Germany was there, and another javelin thrower, Wardlake of Czech Republic too, was there. So it was an extraordinary field of javelin thrower in which Neeraj stood second, and definitely he is one of the best in India, and he inspires the nation. The kind of performance delivered here in Paris too, for they get silver, and we can say that a tough javelin thrower. All in all, we can say that fantastic day for India. But the most important thing is that we can say that everyone was hoping gold medal from Neeraj, but here Nadeem was lucky. His second attempt was, we can say that was one of the best throw we saw in the Olympics history, and that was the key to deciding the rankings here. But we can say that the way things went for the India, first it was in hockey where India won bronze medal, and Neeraj winning a silver. A fantastic day for India, winning 2 medals, and the kind of performance Neeraj has delivered in the international competition. He won gold in Tokyo, world champion, Diamond League. Definitely it's going to inspire the generation to come.
Well, another bronze medal came for India at Paris Olympics as Indian men's hockey team defeated Spain 2-1. With this, the Indian men's hockey team secured their 2nd consecutive Olympic bronze, a milestone last achieved in 1972. Catch the latest on how Indian fans are reacting to the country's triumph bronze medal victory in hockey. DD India's Neeraj Singh gets us more from Ground Zero.
A monumental achievement by the Indian hockey team, winning back-to-back medals at the Olympic Games, first in Tokyo, now in Paris. We can say that it's a change in guard, considering the fact that it will bring the lost glory, the once India dominated the world hockey. What you enjoyed most about today's match?
All the short corners from India were incredible. Go India!
Sir, the way India defended their medal at the Paris Games, overall a shift in the Indian hockey towards the golden days where they dominated the world hockey?
India actually was doing fairly well in the last Olympics. We also did very well, but we had to fight very tough teams. Great Britain match was actually a very big match, then Australia, then Spain. All teams were good and India was able to emerge.
It's the last tournament of PR Sijesh. So it's a big void in the Indian hockey, tough to fill those big shoes.
Absolutely. I mean, Srijesh for the past 1 decade, was like our mainstay for keeping, and the way he has performed in this tournament, I mean, it's exemplary. I mean, honestly, yes, very tough to find a replacement, but I'm sure the kind of team that we have built over the last 10 years, we will certainly find, a replacement for him. But of course, this medal should belong to him.
So we were absolutely hopeful that we'll be bouncing back, and it was very nervous moments, and last 5 minutes was absolutely very nervous, and hopefully we ended on the right side, and we are very happy about this, absolutely, yes.
So I was watching on the edge of my seat and just hoping that those goals wouldn't go in, and they didn't. India managed to save them, which was so good.
So those moments were very nervous for the fans, but finally the Indian hockey team managed to stop the Spanish team, who was the most unpredictable team of the tournament because of the defeated teams like Belgium, Germany in this tournament. But finally India managed to win that match, and definitely we are hoping that this winning momentum will continue to notch higher in the upcoming tournaments also. With camera person Senthil, Narayan Singh, DD India, Paris.
Also, DD India correspondent Narayan Singh exclusively speaks to Indian hockey player Lalit Upadhyay, who won a bronze medal at the Paris Olympics. Listen in.
Stupendous achievement by the Indian hockey team, winning back-to-back medal at the Olympics, first at Tokyo and now at Paris. And to analyze what happened in the match, I'm joined by the star Indian player Lalit. Lalit, a fantastic achievement. किस तरह से देखते हैं the whole win, the victory here in this edition, पहले मैच से लेके आखिरी मैच तक?
तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं यही बोलना चाहूँगा कि मैं जितने भी हमारे कंट्री में लोग हॉकी को सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, मैं आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक ईच एंड एवरी वन, बिकॉज कि उनका बिलीव था, उनका ट्रस्ट था कि इंडियन हॉकी इज़ ग्रोइंग अप, एंड जो पहले हमारे गोल्डन ईरा रहे थे हम उसको वापस ला रहे हैं और ला दिए ऑलमोस्ट. अब लोग हॉकी को इतना सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. और दूसरी चीज़ ये भी है कि एज अ टीम जो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे आए थे, हमारा माइंडसेट था कि वी आर नॉट हियर टू जस्ट बी ए ओलंपियन, वी आर हियर टू विन द मेडल. और दूसरी बार कंटिन्यू मेडल जीतना बड़ी बात होती है, एक हिस्ट्री क्रिएट करने वाली होती है. लेकिन मैं ये बोलूँगा कि एज अ टीम, कोचिंग स्टाफ, ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन, फिजियो में ऐसे सबका एक माइंडसेट था कि नहीं हम यहाँ से मेडल लेके जाएंगे. और बस जो प्लान हमने डिसाइड किया, हमें उसी पे खेलना था, उसी पे खेलें और ये रिजल्ट आया.
Considering more the facilities in India, giving the kind of motivation is there from PM Modi, from the SAI. You have a fantastic SAI, you have a SAI center in Bangalore for you people. How you look all these things?
First of all, I would like to Honorable PM Sir, Sports Ministry and TOPS and SAI Bangalore also, because we are getting all the facilities over there, because Bangalore is our base. Mostly the camp is organized over there only in the Bangalore. And I would like to thank all the states also. I would like to thank my CM also, because after winning the bronze medal in the Tokyo, he appointed me as the CM. He appointed me as the Deputy SP over there. And he giving me the lots of money also. So I would really heartily thank you so much for everything.
So here we can see the happiness of the Indian player by winning the medal here, and they also said that there is steady progress in the Indian hockey, and we are hoping that definitely this momentum will continue and India will win more medals in the upcoming tournament. Camera person Senthil, Narayan Singh, DD India, Paris.
Well, also India's Aman Sehrawat will be in ring today for the medal chase. Aman will fight it out for a bronze medal in men's 57 kg freestyle wrestling. He will face Deriatoy Cruz of Puerto Rico at around 2300 IST on Friday. Sehrawat reigned supreme in his men's freestyle 57 kg round of 16 bout against his Macedonian opponent, winning 10-0. He then beat Albania wrestler 11-0 and thus stormed into the semi-final. There, though, he was brushed aside by Japan's Rei Higuchi, who won 10-0 a few seconds into the bout. And good news for all the noodle lovers. Danes in central Copenhagen marked the return to supermarket shelves of fiery South Korean ramen noodles that had been banned for being too spicy. Fans and noodle lovers participated in the event to try the noodles served by chefs on board the boat. The ban was lifted after further examination of the spicy noodles showed that they did not exceed the critical capsaicin level.
All right, thank you so much. Hold on, it's already yours. All right.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.